I'm Brad. I'm going to do a short clip on how to get a pin out of a dead-ended hole. And by dead-ended hole, I mean you can pound the pin in, but you can't get to the other side to pound it back out. And that's exactly the situation that you will run into if you're going to rebuild a Wilton bullet vise like this here. And the reason that I was urged to do this is I watched Keith Rucker's video on reconditioning a Wilton bullet nose vise. And so the way that he solved the problem of getting the pins out is he went ahead and drove this pin all the way through till it contacted that pin and pushed that pin out. And there's a couple reasons why you might want to try this alternate method. First off, the pin is splined on the aft end, and it's smooth on the pointy end that goes in first. So if you continue to drive that thing in, it's going to deform the pin and it's going to deform the hole. And then the other thing is these pins, you can see the pins on mine because I polished them, well I didn't, I wire brushed them until they were bright. The other reason is that these things were not drilled straight through, or the hole was not drilled all the way through. They were drilled from each side. And on mine and maybe others, the holes don't even line up, and so this pin is going to miss the other pin. So what this is going to entail is using Allen wrenches or whatever else you can make and find. And if you got a pile of Allen wrenches, having them with different sized ends is going to help. But basically what it entails is inserting this into the hole until this end comes in contact with the pinhole. And fortunately the pins do not protrude all the way out. If they did, they would conflict with the screw there. So there's a little bit of room there. You're going to insert that in there, pull it back, and then tap it. And as you tap it down in, it's going to straighten out like that, and it's actually going to push that pin out of there. So I'm going to move the camera around here and get it close up and actually do it so you can see that it does work. Okay, so let's take a look at this. There you can see the pin, and I think you can see that it's splined. And the other thing that you notice is after they put the pin in on this thing, they hit it with a really rough grindstone. And even though I've had this pin out, I was able to get it back in and you know, have the grind marks lined back up. So you might think that I'd never had it out, which is kind of what I was going for. So I'm going to turn this way. With that white paper back there, you should be able to see the pin come out. And so just take this here, yeah, and pull back and just tap it in nice and gentle. And it's okay, starting to come out. Okay. There, yep, there you can see it starting to come out. And then just use a shim. These are pieces of aluminum. I use them on my metal lathe as soft jaws. Stick that in there, put that back in there again, and out it comes a little bit further. There you go. Alright. Now let's put another shim in.
Okay. And so there's the pin, and you can see, come on, focus, weed hopper. See the splines. Okay, so you can see the top of the pin. It's, well, I don't know if you can tell, it's not square. So okay, now that I've got that pin out, I've got a punch, and you can see that this hole does not line up with the other hole. So actually, to punch that out, I need to have a thinner punch so that I can, you know, get around that hole. Let's see. Okay. Yep. See? So if you got a long, thin punch, you know, then you can take out that other one, you know, with a nice long punch. And if you don't have a nice long punch, you might have to make one out of something. But
Okay, there you go. That was an alternate method for getting a pin out of a dead-ended situation. And even if you're not going to do a Wilton bullet vise rebuild, you might find yourself in a situation where this technique will get you out of a bind.